I'm not even doing any lighting today. It's just without the candle even. Can you believe it? We're just gonna go straight in, no editing, and answer all of your questions. I hope this is exciting for you. It is for me. So over in the community tab, I realised that I had hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel, which is a huge achievement for me. And then I realised that we didn't really do anything to celebrate that fact. So I figured, okay, let's do an AMA, Ask Me Anything, and you all came up with some really cool questions, and I think I have some answers for them. All the things that were itching at the back of your minds that you wanted to know about me, my gaming experience, the things I like. So let's get into it, and I hope you enjoy. I feel like I should probably also start this video with a couple of details. You know me here on YouTube as 10-Minute Worlds, and I haven't really ever mentioned anything outside of that. But just so I put it out there finally, my name's Georgina. Nice to meet you. Okay, let's get into it and see what you all have to ask me. Adam Frogget845 has a few questions, which is very cool, all within the Warcraft universe. First of all, do I have a favourite questing zone? I actually had to make notes about this from all of my WoW experience that I have. My favourite questing zone, I actually agree with you on Suramar. This is something just based on the questions that I've had that we'll come back around to again in another question, but by far Suramar is one of my favourite zones in the entire game, and perhaps this is another story, but it's the main reason why I switched over from being on the Alliance for many years to the Horde, purely for the Nightborn. I loved them and I love their city, and I wish they made it a capital city, but that's a rant for another time, maybe. So Suramar is up there. A lot of starting zones would probably be up there. So the Night Elf starting zone, the old one anyway, in Teldrassil, is high on my list purely because I've done it quite a few times. The Draenei starting zone on Azure Mist and Blood Mist as well, because I've done that many times and I love the atmosphere, the peacefulness of it. I could actually say the same for the Tauren as well in their starting area, those wide grassy plains. I still don't get tired of doing that every so often. Adam also wants to know if I have a favourite raid, and this one took me a little bit more thought. I would say Ulduar is up there, mostly because I did it many times for the transmog that I have on my paladin, with parts that I still put on her transmog to this day. I'll insert a screenshot maybe of my Draenei in here somewhere, but it was purely to get that transmog. And having said that though, Ulduar is a great raid, a classic, and I wish more raids in WoW followed that kind of blueprint. I also really like the Legion raids. I was very invested in Legion as an expansion anyway, and for me, controversial opinion, I don't know, but Legion might be one of my favourite expansions. Nothing else has really quite topped it since. We'll see about War Within, but yeah, that was a high point for me. And one of the raids, I can't remember which one it was, but it was just to show you how much of a casual I am. It was the first raid I had ever done where I got ahead of the curve. And if I remember what the name is, I'll put it here somewhere. I need to check my profile on WoW, but I'll put it in here if I do remember. And what's some of my favourite things to do in World of Warcraft? This is a very good question. I love questing, taking the time to quest as well. I love purely exploring and uncovering the map and discovering new places. This is something, side note, that I love doing in Guild Wars 2 as well, but you actually get more reward from exploring that way in Guild Wars. It doesn't stop me from doing it in WoW by any means, and it's just quite a relaxed and chill thing to do yeah, exploring is up there. Something else I should also add in here is that I play on an RP realm, and I have RP'd in the past, and it's great. I love telling stories, I love creative writing, and I've been able to tell some epic plots and stories through WoW over many, many, many years and many characters, and I honestly wouldn't change it for the world. I haven't done it in a long time, and I kind of miss it actually, but yeah, I do enjoy it. Kona Savage says, what is your favourite fantasy race class combination? I always gravitate towards human paladin, which is a very, very classic combination, I would say, and if you enjoy it, by all means go for it. Paladin is on my list, but if you haven't seen my Draenei video from a few days ago already, Draenei Paladin is up there, really high up there, along with Night Elf Hunter, marksmanship specifically. I love being far away for my DPS. I don't like being in melee range. If I can be in range, just shoot things, great, that's my style. My Nightborn is also a hunter, a marksmanship hunter, which lore-wise I know doesn't really make a lot of sense, especially because the Nightborn are not really bow users by habit, but I somehow made it work, and I love her just as much as I love my Night Elf. And to add onto that, probably I would say Tauren, Druid or Shaman. I've been trying Shaman a lot more lately, and I have to admit I am not really able to get into it too much. I do enjoy it, but I think I enjoy Druid a bit more, so either one of those. ASM Art Pop 2676 says, current games you regularly play. Doesn't have to be fantasy and doesn't have to be an MMO. This is a great question. Thank you so much for asking it. Current games, there's a few things that we kind of switch back and forth between currently. Lately we've been playing Yakuza 0, which I'll come back to again in another question, but it's a great RPG, and it's really, even though it's fairly old at this point, I'm really enjoying the story. It's awesome. Spider-Man, the two newish Spider-Man games, we finished the first one, and we are, I think, nearing the end of the second one. Really, really good. Insomniac Games make amazing games just in general. I've enjoyed every single one that I've played. A bit of Spyro as well, which, you know, that's another classic, jumping around, collecting gems, breathing fire on people, and Spyro is very cute. I love him. And aside from that, waiting for a few things. The first one that comes to mind is Dawn Trail, which is the expansion for Final Fantasy XIV, which I'm really excited about for a couple of reasons. One being the female Hrothgar, which I've been waiting for a very, very long time, and I can't wait to make one. And the second being all of the references that Dawn Trail seems to have to Final Fantasy IX, which is my favourite Final Fantasy game. So we'll see how that goes. It's still, what date are we on? A little while away, about a month away, I want to say. So fingers crossed. I haven't actually logged in for quite a while, almost a year. So I have a lot to catch up on, and I haven't even done the in-between quests. Oh my goodness, maybe I should add that to my games list and catch up before the new expansion. There's not enough time in the day. Adumish132 says, any favourite RPGs of all time? I suppose MMOs count within that too. Now this is a good one. I actually had to make a list of RPGs here because I feel like I've played a ton of them. I've got down here, obviously World of Warcraft. I've been playing it for long enough, but in general, I have played, over the course of just life, a lot of MMOs. World of Warcraft is one, Final Fantasy XIV. I played Rift back when it was good. I've played Lord of the Rings Online, Elder Scrolls Online in beta. Someone's drilling right now. Good. Although, with those RPGs, yes, I've played them. Would I call them my favourites? Maybe not. Final Fantasies, of course. Disco Elysium is also up there. It's so unusual and really, really interesting and fascinating to play. If you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend it. And the music is also amazing. And this also brings me back around to Yakuza, or as it's now called, Like a Dragon. The last two games, so Infinite Wealth and... what was the one before that called? Insert name here. But I really love both of them. I was so engrossed in the story, the characters, the drama, the hilarity of it all. And Ichiban Kasuga is one of the greatest characters in modern games. Changed my mind. Daryl Eldon 1284. What is your favourite zone, plural, in WoW and why? One of mine is Grizzly Hills for the music and that werewolf questline. Grizzly Hills is a classic. I think who doesn't love that beautiful, kind of Nordic looking woodland scene? And actually the music chokes me up a little bit, even still, after all these years, if I'm flying or travelling through it. I don't know, just really gets me in the nostalgia feels. But aside from that, I'm gonna bang on about this. Suramar is up there. I go into that city any chance I can get. It's absolutely stunning. One of the most beautiful zones I think WoW has ever had. And I wish we could go in there more without being spied and just having to fight people on the streets and stuff. High Mountain is also really, really good. Once again, I keep coming back to Legion and the zones there. But honestly, I had such a great time questing there and enjoying the scenery. Teldrassil, Azure Mist, of course. Anything from Wrath of the Lich King, honestly, is also a good shout. I remember flying on a griffin into the Storm Peaks for the first time and just going, it was so dramatic with the Titan structures all around. I thought it was amazing, so that's definitely up there. A lot of Burning Crusade stuff would also be up there. Anything to do with Outland. Zangarmarsh was unlike anything I'd ever seen before, and I once again love the music there. Netherstorm was breathtaking and dangerous and just broken apart. I thought that was mega cool. And the last question for now is from Nat from Gondor. Who is your favourite character in Middle-earth? And if you could be anyone, who would you be in Middle-earth? I don't know if I can pick just one character. There's quite a few that I've put down here. I'm trying to go back in my mind to the very beginning Silmarillion creation myths all the way up to Lord of the Rings and the more recent stuff. Ulmo is my favourite of all the Valar. I think I've mentioned this somewhere, but I think he's really cool. Fingolfin is also way up there, the first High King of the Noldor in Beleriand, but he was able to injure Morgoth 7 times. If that's not badass, I don't know what is. He's great. Beren and Luthien, that's just a classic romance and based on Tolkien and his wife, if those stories are to be believed. And they're both brave and strong fighters. And then there's Éowyn from The Lord of the Rings, who she really made an impression on me from the first time I read those books. And for the longest time, I wanted to be a shield maiden. I thought she was cool and brave and strong, and I still think that, so she's on this list. And honourable mention to Juan, because he's a very good boy. If I could be anyone, this is a really tough question. Part of me would want to be an elf, but then, because, you know, they're elegant and they're very graceful, but is that a curse in disguise, living forever, seeing all of history and time and grief? I wonder, but aesthetically it's that. Another part of me wants to be a hobbit and live in the Shire, around nature, eat good food, you know, all that stuff. Go to the pub. Of course I'd say that being British. But then, you know, I do love Éowyn and I do want to be a shield maiden, part of me. In fact, I'm now remembering that when I logged into Lord of the Rings Online for the first time, I made a shield maiden, and I wish I could remember what her name was, but yeah, that must mean something if that was the first character I ever made. And that's all the questions for now. I really enjoyed reading them. Thank you so much for submitting them and making me think about the answers. It's really cool to interact with you all and just build a connection with my little community that I've created. I'm so appreciative for all of you. Thank you for sticking around, being with me up till this milestone of 1,000 subscribers. Here's to 1,000 more. we'll see. Fingers crossed. I'll do my best to keep making videos that you enjoy and that you'll like watching, and that you can relax to and maybe learn something about these games and nerdy things I really enjoy. So that's it for now. If you have any other questions that you'd like to know about me, please feel free to put them in the comments. I really don't mind, and I will happily make another one of these videos. Who needs an occasion? I can do these every so often if you'd like. So please feel free to do that. And I'll get working on another lore video, I think. Not sure which one I'm going to do next. I'm going to keep that a secret for now, but I think you'll enjoy it regardless. Have a great rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.